How you doing, everybody? Mike here. Time for a quick Ford Sports Night video blog. Doing it from the desk as opposed to home. Couple quick. We're not going to keep you here all that long. First off, training camp starts Friday. Opens Friday for the Panthers. They report. We'll be down there getting players coming in and bringing in all their pillows and sleeping bags and TVs and all those good things. So make sure you check us out for that. Also, the Bobcats introduced Ramon Sessions and Brendan Haywood. If you're a Carolina basketball fan, you know all about Brendan Haywood. So his presence, I think, will be a big help to a Bobcats team that is certainly trying to, find its way coming off that 7-win season. They've got nowhere to go but up. There's no doubt about that. But I think that Haywood's a guy that can help. I mean, he's not the answer. He's not going to be a 30-point-a-night guy. But he's going to be a veteran center, a guy that can certainly contribute and help out. And the middle has been lacking for Charlotte for a very, very, very long time. So he's a good fit. And I loved Sessions' game, and I just think that he was out of time in L.A. He's a nice addition for the Bobcats. So good on him. I love watching that guy play. So it'll be good for Charlotte. Panthers. I wanted to get back to the Panthers real quick. Ryan Khalil. Good on you, bud. Good on you. I like the fact that the Panthers are standing behind. They're standing behind Khalil and his full-page ad that he took out in the Observer, the Charlotte Observer. Love that. Love the fact that they're unified in that front. There's going to be folks that laugh at a prediction like that coming from a team that's 6-10. And you know what I say? Let them laugh. Because if you're laughing at it, it means you're sleeping on him. It means you're not taking him seriously, and that's exactly what the Panthers want. You're not going to take him seriously, they're going to come in and punch you in the mouth. I like the fact that Carolina, and John Beeson said as much last year when he was on the Ford Sports Night and making his weekly appearances. At the end of the year, he said, "Look, I'm going to be disappointed if we don't go to the Super Bowl." Do you want your players to have a different opinion? Do you want your players to think something differently? Do you want your players to go in and say, 8-8's good enough. 9-7, maybe we'll get in the playoffs. There's the old saying, shoot for the moon. If you come up short, you're still among the stars, right? So, Ryan Khalil says, Lombardi Trophy to Carolina. It's good to say it. Now you got to go out and do it. And that's the thing that every player understands, that if you're going to, as Ron Rivera said yesterday, if you're going to walk it, or if you're going to talk it, you got to walk it. And so now it's up to the Panthers to walk it with the talk that's going on. And hey, good on them. A lot of folks laughed in the years past when Raymond Felton was a Bobcat and said, "Oh, we're going to make the playoffs this year." No, we're going to make the playoffs this year. Well, and Coach Brown and Coach Bickerstaff before him said, well, if you're going to talk it, you got to walk it. Khalil has set the bar noticeably higher. But I don't think, and this is the strange thing, I don't necessarily think there's a guy within the Panthers, 53-man roster, and I think most of that roster is already set. But within the 53-man roster, I don't think there's a guy that disagrees with Ryan Khalil. And I mean seriously disagrees. I mean, it's not like they're paying lip service and saying, yeah, whatever. I don't think there's a guy that thinks Khalil is wrong. And that's what is really remarkable about this Bobcat team, or about this Panther team, excuse me. So we'll see what they bring in camp. But the offense is going to be good. If the defense stays healthy, that's the big question mark. If the defense will stay healthy, so that's pretty much it's pretty much on them. I'm going to be down at camp on Saturday for the first practice, and we'll talk to the players before the practice. I mean, there's not a whole lot that they'll really know going in, but we'll have you caught up on the first day. We'll get you caught up on the day that everybody reports as well, which is Friday. So we'll have that for you. Olympics are already underway, believe it or not. I mean, we've already had soccer competition. There were a couple of great games today. I was actually checking out on the tube. And the opening ceremonies are Friday. Question that I have, what is the one thing in the summer games that you, the viewer, watch for? I mean, I know you got the basketball tournament, and that's going to be high profile because it's basically an international NBA event. For the most part. I mean, a lot of the teams have NBA guys, whether it's the United States, which is all NBA guys, or Brazil or France or Spain. They've got NBA players on their roster, so on their international roster. So it'll be interesting to see how that all turns out. Obviously, everybody expects the Americans to win gold. I don't think you're wrong to think that. But the world has caught up. I mean, as we've seen, the Americans haven't been the dream team dominant. We've already talked about dream teams, and there will be no dream team better than the first dream team, in my opinion. But what do you watch the summer games for? For me, the winter games, it was all about the hockey tournament. There's no question. But I still enjoy watching the skiing and the ski jumping and the bobsledding and the curling. Love the curling. I know I'm crazy like that. But in the summer games, what's the one thing that you watch? And you can go ahead and leave us a comment here within the YouTube or within the Sports Night blog, whichever you like, because I'd love to get your feedback on that. For me, I'll be watching the basketball tournament, and I like team handball. I'm not sure that they still have team handball. I don't even know. Love the team handball game. Fun. It's like hockey, But I'll also be watching the soccer tournament as well, pretty closely. And, the track and field is good. I'm more of a field guy because I can never run fast. Look at me, not a speed guy. As my friend Jeff Gorski once told me, all the heavy guys throw heavy things and they can have the most fun. Because while the sprinters have to stay thin, the heavy guys can bulk up a little bit, if you know what I mean. So anyway, so you have that. Last bit of business on the docket. Carolina Hurricanes today signing Alex Semin, 1-year deal, $7 million. That's a lot of cash. Now, the guy is just under a point-a-game player for his career. 408 points in 496 games. I'm getting into just numbers, which I try to stay away from in these things. But yes, he's got skills. Yes, he's got ability. Yes, he is a guy that can go out and score you big goals. He can go out and win you a couple of games here or there. But there's the knock on him. There's the knock and the talk and the whispers that his work ethic is questioned. And when you have a guy, and you have players, one of his old players in Washington said he didn't care. That's worrisome. That's troubling to me. Now, look, I've said it before on the Ford Sports Night. I'll say it here on the blog. Jim Rutherford, general manager of the Hurricanes, has forgotten more about hockey than I'm ever going to know. And I admit that. And so if he feels this is the right deal for the team, you got to let it play out. I agree. However, when you have question marks about a guy's character and a guy's desire and willingness to play and play hard each and every night, when you have that lingering question, and he investigated it, I know he looked around, it still is a bit of a worry for a 1-year deal. I personally, just me, would have loved to have seen a multi-year deal for Semin. At maybe $10 million total. I think $7 million is a bit high. That's just me. But we will, we'll wait and see how it all plays out. But I expect the Hurricanes, if we have a season, to be competitive. Now, I say if we have a season because they're still working towards a new collective bargaining agreement. Now, I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. I don't know issue one that these teams are having. What it's going to take. What kind of numbers it's going to take to get a deal done. I will say this though. The owners cannot cry, in my opinion, the owners cannot cry that they're broke when guys like Zach Parise and Suter and now Shea Weber are signing double-digit year, triple-digit contracts. It was Weber that gets 14 years at over $100 million, or whatever the numbers ended up being, and Parise got 10 years at 100, and Suter got 10 years at 96 or whatever. I mean, these are monopoly numbers. And they're signing them without this collective bargaining agreement in place. So you can't tell me that the owners aren't doing well. Can't. The game is growing. Now, the players, I will say this, the players have had a pretty good chunk of the revenue coming their way. And of course, they don't want to give that up, but they're going to have to. They're going to have to give up some of that. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's a two-way street. Both sides risk equally. And to me, I never, you can lean 50.1 towards the players and 49.9 to the owners, or vice versa. If you could ever get them to agree 50-50, it'd be a miracle. But when you look at the risks, the owners risk by opening the doors, selling the tickets, laying out the investment, paying the players. The players risk their lives. Hockey's a dangerous game. Football's a dangerous game. They're all dangerous. Baseball's a dangerous game. Guys get hurt all the time. You take a baseball off the head, you may not play the next day or the day after that or ever again. It's just the reality. Both sides share equally. These things have got to be looked at and I think worked out together from these two sides from the reality standpoint that the NHL is not the most popular league in the world of sports in the United States. Certainly in Canada it is, but not in the U.S. And with most of your franchises based in the U.S., you have to take a look at what the realistic income ratio, income numbers are, what's going out, and you got to find common ground. I'm a hockey fan. I think they should get a deal, and I think they should get a deal now. But you can't tell me you're broke, owners, when you're signing 3 guys to virtually $300 million in contracts over the course of, say, 14 years. You can't tell me you don't have the money. You can't, especially when 2 of those guys are in Minnesota. That is not big market. It's not. Nashville is not big market, and yet they're laying out that kind of money. So, anyway, that's all I got here from the desk. We'll try this again maybe Friday. We'll see how it's going. Either from the desk or from the house, one way or the other. We'll keep you up to date right here on the blog. See you.